Hi guys, today I wanted to go down the route of medication. It's certainly been a big part of my rehabilitation, and I think it's worthwhile talking about. Best place to start is my drug of choice. Why did I choose alcohol? Well, I guess leaving home at 16 and joining the army, everything had changed for me. I learnt to look after myself. My testosterone levels had got higher. I'd learnt to respect myself. I'd learnt to work as a team. I'd been educated, but I'd also been introduced to alcohol. And in fact, I will point out that prior to joining the forces, I didn't really come from a family background of drinking. Now, of course, as a British soldier, you're reminded all the time of some of the great people that have served prior to you. And there's that great stiff upper lip feeling in the army as well, that we're reminded that we're the best in the world. And so everything a soldier does is kind of done to the extremes. You know, we work hard, we play hard, as they say. Your average squaddie will sort of push weights in the gym a lot more frequently. The average squaddie will educate himself a lot more. But of course, some of the things that come with that also get done to the extreme levels. And it's a very difficult thing to say, because a lot of people don't like someone saying that within the army culture there was a drinking culture. But I lived that lifestyle, and I lived that culture, and it certainly was a drinking culture. I'm not blaming anyone. It's just that was the way it was in the army. And actually, closer to the end, I'm going to go into the drinking culture as a whole, and we're going to explore that, because it's not just the army. We were always in the bar for leaving drinks or an initiation. You had birthday drinks, we've just had a good day drinks, you just had to drink for any reason. And within the drinking culture, you could get quite a lot of respect for being what was called a top shelfer, for instance. Drinking a shot from left to right, whatever the bar had on the top shelf. We often played a game called Shock, which involved a cup and 5 dice. If you rolled 3 ones, you'd have to down a shot. If you lost the game, you'd have to drink a shot. If you won the game, you had to drink a shot. I think if you rolled a lucky 7, you had to drink a shot. Basically, you drank a shot for everything. And then maybe we'd retire back for a nice easy game of spoof, which consisted of having 3 coins in your hand behind your back, deciding how many to put in the other hand to bring them forward. If the people guessed how many we all had, we all drank a shot. If we got it wrong, we drank 2 shots. So it was all about drinking. And it was fun. It de-stressed us. In fact, it was encouraged. And the reason I'm talking about this is because it's not just soldiers. I see these kind of rituals in everyday life all the time. And I want to highlight these problems, if you will. And let me stress, I'm not trying to change people's ways or anything. I'm not trying to force anything on anyone. I just want to talk about it. I just want to bring it out in the open. I want to sort of discuss these kind of rituals that we take for granted. You know, from my point of view as a reformed drinker, I often say to my partner, it's amazing how much I'm reminded about alcohol. Whether I'm watching a TV programme and 2 people are having a glass of wine, or there's an advert for whiskey, it's everywhere, absolutely everywhere. So what I'm talking about is the kind of pub culture we've become accustomed to. You know, it's kind of normal to have a stress day at work and just pop down to the pub to have a pint. You meet a friend of yours and sort of, you have a chat, and 1 pint turns into 2 pints. It becomes a socially accepted norm. In fact, we've got some extremely interesting facts about alcohol, and I'm going to put those at the end. Please click on the link and have a look at that. And of course, you enter some alcohol into the mix with some friends, and you've got a more fluid conversation because you've lost all your inhibitions, you talk a bit more openly, a couple of people fall over, it's a bit of a laugh. It becomes something that makes you happy, even though alcohol is a depressant. Strange, eh? I guess what I'm trying to say is you shouldn't trust alcohol to be there for you when you need a bit of a pickup or when you need to be cheered up a bit. You shouldn't trust alcohol to be your friend. And you certainly shouldn't think that it's a part of social interaction that has to happen. So many times now I find myself where I have to say to someone, no, it's all right, I'll have a soft drink. It's almost frowned upon. It's like,
oh my God, we're in a pub and you're going to have a soft drink?
Well, number one, you don't have to feel threatened that you don't want to drink. But number 2, you don't have to think that by turning down a drink, your little drop in the ocean that's all it is, because it's not. In fact, we have to remember that as individuals, we all are the building blocks of society or culture. So, it only takes a couple of people to do something, and then the roll-on effect with a couple of others following. And please feel free to comment at the bottom of this afterwards. Do you think each individual does have the power to change a cultural decision? Do you think what I'm talking about is complete rubbish? Please let me know. Whatever it is you've got to say about the issue, I'd really like to interact with you anyway. Like I said previously, I went away to combat stress, and it was 6 weeks that I went away for. This meant 6 weeks of not drinking. And I'll be honest with you, even up to the night before, I'd been drinking every day. In fact, the night before, I had a little ritual, in fact, where I sort of had a bottle of vodka and sort of drank away my sorrow. Because mind you, I also should say I did think that I was going away to a mental institute and I was never going to see the light of day again. So there was more than a ritual. It was kind of saying goodbye to the world. But I'm aware of how lucky I am sometimes. And in fact, when I was writing the narrative for this, I thought, yeah, I've got to remind people that addiction is horrid. It's hard, and it's not a choice either. And had I not had that lucky intervention, I'm sure I would have still been drinking today, to be honest with you. So after finding out what was going on in my head and being sober for 6 weeks, so I had a more informed decision-making